Hi, this is Great Force Andy with another Don't Miss a Point of Business video, and boy, I tell you, this one's a big don't miss a point of business. I want to share an example, and I'm not going to divulge the names, I just want to share the story. I know of a restaurant that was around in a certain city for, decades, we're going to say 30 years maybe. Very successful restaurant. Chef was fantastic, chef was also the owner, and the restaurant did great. So, why do we advise clients to build, number one, a predictably profitable business, which is what this restaurant did, but two, a scalable business? And when I say scalable, I mean duplicatable. This business I'm referring to didn't do that. They built a predictably profitable business, made a lot of money for 30 years, did not build a scalable business, meaning typical entrepreneur. So this entrepreneur was an expert at what they did. They were a restaurant chef. Did very, very, very well. But everything was up here. Nobody can do it as good as me. Micromanaged, dictated to the team, had their thumb on everything, made every decision. Problem is, 30 years go by, and this restaurant makes so much money that it buys a building, builds a building, owns the building. Fantastic. So now comes time where the restaurant owner is getting a little older, wants to retire. Well, what did they do? They had a couple of kids that could have taken the business over, and in this particular case, they had one kid that really wanted to take the business over, wanted to. But because the owner never put the processes and playbooks and hiring processes and calendars and checklists and training and things in place for people to succeed in. They didn't create an environment for others to succeed in. Therefore, they didn't build a scalable, duplicatable business. They were afraid to pass it on to their kid because they figured their kid would fail. So instead, believe it or not, today, this place, they own the building, it's empty, and the business is closed. 30 years of success to equal empty building, closed business. What would that have been worth? So just ask yourself this question. What would you pay for a restaurant that made money for 30 years, enough to build a building and live in that building, or run the business in that building and own it? What would you pay for a business like that? If you knew that it was successful, making money, and you could step in and there was all the processes, routines, all those things in place for it to succeed when you step in other words, when that owner leaves, it wouldn't fail, what would you pay for that? So in other words, if you own that kind of business, what could you sell that business for? Now, if your business isn't like that today, then what are you waiting for to start building it like that? Now, I understand as an entrepreneur, an entrepreneur is someone that feels nobody can do it as good as them. They're an expert at what they do, nobody can do it as good. They want to micromanage and dictate. I get it. But get over yourself. It took that entrepreneurial attitude that I respect to start the business, but it's that same attitude that often gets in the way and stops you from making it scalable, duplicatable, which is what builds the asset. So get out of your own way, learn how to do that, and build it so it's scalable, duplicatable, and now you're going to build an asset that the day it's over, you can either pass it on to your kids, or you can sell it for a lot of money, or you can take it public, or you can franchise it, or you can semi-retire and put management team in place to run it for you while you just live off the profit. Super important. Why you build a scalable business.